चलिए खैर हटाइए, लेट अस स्टार्ट द टॉपिक। सो अब जो आप पढ़ने जा रहे हैं ना, सो वी हैव एंडेड डेल्टा एच एंड आल्सो द मेजरमेंट ऑफ डेल्टा एच यूजिंग कैलोरीमेट्री, एंड जिसमें हमने बॉम्ब और कॉफी का कैलोरीमेट्री को पढ़ा था। नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू मूव टुवर्ड्स केमिस्ट्री। ठीक है, तो प्लीज जरा हेडिंग डालिएगा, थर्मोकेमिस्ट्री। Thermochemistry, and in this we have to learn about, oh my god, what is happening? Just give me a second. Thermochemical equation. A thermochemical equation, it is going to be a very, what I would say. Just give me a second. Sorry guys. Thermochemical equation में लिखिएगा a balanced chemical equation. A balanced chemical equation that gives the information about heat change during the reaction. ठीक है, so it is basically a chemical equation, but it also gives an idea about the heat change during the reaction. That means it also gives an idea about enthalpy. Just देखिए, for example, carbon which is solid plus oxygen which is gas, and it gives CO2. So we are writing the equation for the formation of carbon dioxide, and it has been given delta H, it is equal to minus 393.5 kilojoule per mole. Now looking at the sign of enthalpy, please I need your mics on now. ठीक है, please जवाब दीजिएगा. Looking at the sign of enthalpy, what is the sign of enthalpy? What is the sign of delta H? Positive or negative?
Negative.
So energy is released by the system or energy is absorbed?
Energy is released.
Released, है ना? So what does it mean? It means that energy is given out as a product. CO2 gas, 393.5 kilojoule per mole of energy is given out. Sir, आप बोलिएगा सर यहाँ पे माइनस है, यहाँ पे अपने प्लस है. See, minus, it is telling us something. It is not giving you any idea about the value of enthalpy. Value of enthalpy is 393. Now, when released or absorbed the heat exchange, heat is taken by the system or given out. That is the information given by negative. So now we know that when this reaction happened, 393.5 kilojoule of heat was given out. So given out, obviously it will be in the what product side as positive. Does it make sense? Yes or no? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, प्लीज कॉपी दिस डाउन. इसमें एक चीज हम लोग पढ़ेंगे आगे. यू विल come across this word a lot of time. Standard enthalpy. So we will write the meaning of standard enthalpy of. A standard enthalpy of dot 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 कर लीजिएगा. That means that it can be anything. Standard enthalpy of. Please let me know once you're done till here. प्लीज फोकस इन द क्लास, ठीक है ना? इधर उधर मत दिमाग भटकाइएगा, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्लास है। एंड ये तो जवाब नहीं देते हैं आप लोग, ठीक है ना? तो हमको समझ ही नहीं आता क्या आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है। आसान सा टॉपिक है बट इंपॉर्टेंट है, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड फिर नहीं आएगा। हैंड वंस योर डन। वेटिंग फॉर अबीर एंड जोबिता। जस्ट वेटिंग फॉर जोबिता। चलिए, the meaning of standard enthalpy is that what it is measured, it is measured at 1 bar, that is Q measured at 1 bar pressure। ठीक है, 1 bar प्रेशर में इसको मेजर किया गया। अनदर थिंग दैट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर, टेम्परेचर कैन बी एनीथिंग, विल बी कांस्टेंट बट, है ना? टेम्परेचर कैन बी एनीथिंग but all the substance should be in their standard state। should be in their standard state। क्या मतलब है इस चीज का? फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी हैव वाटर, है ना? we have water and if I take the temperature to be 298 Kelvin, then tell me this water will be in solid, liquid or gas in 298 Kelvin? 298 Kelvin, by the way, it is 25 degrees Celsius, so water will be in solid, liquid or gas?
Liquid.
It will be in liquid state, है
Liquid.
ना? ठीक है, तो if I am going to take water at, if I am going to put water in the system and 298 Kelvin, then we will have to consider it as liquid। अगर यहाँ पे आपके पास 270 Kelvin है, 270 Kelvin is -3 degrees Celsius, then in that case it will be solid, liquid or gas?
Solid.
Solid। And if I take the temperature to be 400 Kelvin, quite large, then it will be what?
Yes.
Gas, है ना? वेपर।
Gas.
हाँ, वेपर, गैस, वेपर। प्लीज राइट दिस डाउन। Jovita, just waiting for you। Okay। Jovita, just waiting for you. Chaliए, next, right next. The first standard enthalpy that we have to learn is the standard enthalpy of formation. Standard enthalpy of formation, that is given as delta H F naught. Delta H, first point you will write, it is also known as standard molar enthalpy. Molar enthalpy of formation. Standard molar enthalpy of formation. Now, what does it mean? Now, the definition is very important. और एक चीज ध्यान रखिएगा, each and every enthalpy, each and every standard enthalpy, it will represent a reaction. It will represent a balanced chemical reaction. What did I say? Please repeat the statement. Each and every enthalpy is going to represent a balanced chemical equation. I say,
Each
guys,
and every is going to represent a balanced equation.
a balanced equation. ठीक है ना? ध्यान सुनिए जरा. What is the standard enthalpy of formation? The enthalpy change, the delta H, that is enthalpy change, when 1 mole of a substance is from its formed from its elements in their most stable state. In their most stable state. क्या मतलब इसका? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट दी, ध्यान सुनिएगा जरा, डेल्टा एच एफ नॉट ऑफ CO2 is given as is equal to minus 393.5 kilojoule per mole. This information is given, that means they are talking about a reaction. Delta H naught formation दिया, that means what is getting formed? CO2, carbon dioxide. ठीक है? From its what? From the elements in their most stable. So what are the elements? Carbon and oxygen. Carbon किस state में मिलता है? Carbon as graphite in solid, and oxygen not as ozone but as O2 gas. बात समझ में आ रही है ना? बोलो. And this reaction has a delta H of minus 393.5 kilojoule per mole. देखिए जरा, does it make sense? Yes or no? Please tell me. बात समझ में आ रही है?
Yes, sir.
Put this down, then we will do a few enthalpy of formation. आपको उसका क्या लिखना पड़ेगा? You have to write the equation for them. Please copy this down. Raise your hand once you're done. I'm just waiting for you. चलिए बताइए, इफ यू हैव बीन, इफ देयर इज गिवन समथिंग लाइक दिस, delta HF naught of ammonia, what will be the reaction? First of all, see, ध्यान से देखिएगा जरा, when 1 mole of a substance is formed, how many mole? 1 mole. तो एक चीज, तो one thing is restricted. What is the restriction? Please ध्यान से सुन लीजिए यार. One thing is restricted, that 1 mole of ammonia will be formed. बस एक मोल करना है आपको, ठीक है. Now nitrogen, it is present in its elemental state as N2 and hydrogen is present as H2. अब बैलेंस करना, बट दिस विल बी 1 mole, ठीक है. सो हाउ कैन वी बैलेंस? वी हैव 2 N2 हियर, इसको आधा कर दीजिए. हियर वी नीड 3, 3 का आधा कर देंगे अब, तो आपके पास आ जाएगा. देखिए, नाउ इट इज बैलेंस. दिस यू हैव टू लर्न हाउ टू राइट द इक्वेशंस. One for sure, 1 mole of ammonia will be there. This is the reaction it is talking about. When they are saying enthalpy of formation of ammonia, then this is the reaction they are talking about. Make sense है ना? बात समझ में आ रही है?
Yes, sir.
चलिए, आई एम राइटिंग अ फ्यू थिंग्स. चलिए जरा, डेल्टा HF नॉट of HCl, what will be the reaction? I will give you 2 minutes. 2 मिनट में जिसका हुआ नहीं हुआ तो फिर हम बता देंगे. Shan Abir has sent the answer. Zainab, there wrong. What is wrong, Zainab? Tell me. Zainab, please turn your mic on.
Yes,
Zainab,
sir.
turn your. हाँ, what is wrong in the reaction? जो भी आपने दिया है.
Sir, I forgot to mention the state.
What? जोर से बोलिए यार, please.
The state,
No. Read the molar enthalpy of formation. What is written in the statement? Keep your mic on, please. Read it, na. Read it loudly. I can't hear you, Zainab.
yes, sir.
I'm asking you to read the statement of enthalpy of formation loudly.
The enthalpy change when 1 mole of
When what? Wait. When what?
1 mole of substance.
1 mole. And how many mole you have made in the reaction?
2 moles.
Make sense? ठीक है.
Yes.
तो यही चीज हम बार बार कह रहे हैं कि क्या करना है आप लोगों को. You have to make HCl. How much HCl? Only 1 mole. What are the elements that make HCl? H2 and Cl2 are going to make HCl. How many H2 will be required? Half moles of H2 and half moles of Cl2 will be required in order to make 1 mole of HCl. ये तो आना चाहिए आपको ना, स्टैंडर्ड 12th में आ चुके हैं. If you don't know how to balance the reaction in this way, तो मतलब I don't know what to say. Delta HF naught of water कीजिए जरा. Delta HF naught of benzene C6H6. अरे आप H2Cl2 लिख रहे हैं मेरे बताने के बाद, क्या फायदा है अली? H2O को बताओ तो कोई बात हो. यस, शैमा करेक्ट, वेरी गुड शैमा. हाँ, HCl का आपने मेरे लिखने के बाद लिखा है अली, वही हम कह रहे हैं, पानी का लिखो तो कोई बात. राइट इट फॉर वाटर को तो बता ही दिया हमने. वेरी गुड अली, वेरी गुड. जैनब, जैनब कैन यू प्लीज टर्न योर माइक ऑन?
Yes, sir.
आप समझ के लिख रहे हैं, तुक्का मार रहे हैं, बताइए साफ साफ.
H2O, right?
जोर से बोलिए ना, जोर से.
And I understood it.
यू अंडरस्टूड.
Yes, sir.
हाफ H2 में हाउ मेनी हाइड्रोजन एटम्स?
Two.
जोर से, लाउडली. और
Two.
टू हाइड्रोजन एटम इन हाफ H2. और H2 में, इन H2 हाउ मेनी हाइड्रोजन एटम्स?
Two are there.
जैनब ठीक है, अभी तो हम आपसे बात नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि आपको हर बार हम ये बोल रहे हैं, अगर इफ आई एम गोइंग टू से स्पीक लाउडली, डू यू आर यू हैविंग एनी प्रॉब्लम इन योर थ्रोट? आपकी तबीयत ठीक नहीं थी, इफ आई रिमेंबर करेक्टली.
Sir, can you hear me now?
आई कैन हियर यू बट यू हैव टू स्पीक अ बिट मोर लाउडली.
Yes, sir.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. अब बताइए आप, हाफ H2 में हाउ मेनी हाइड्रोजन एटम्स?
Two.
एंड इन H2 हाउ मेनी हाइड्रोजन एटम्स?
Yes, sir.
हाउ मेनी हाइड्रोजन एटम्स इन H2?
Two.
And in half H2 also 2. So that means there is no difference between these two.
There is difference, sir.
नहीं, ठीक है, तो आपको ठीक है, फाइन, आई अंडरस्टूड दैट. देखिए, हाफ H2 का मतलब हुआ, देखिए हाफ H2 मीन्स हाफ एंड देयर आर टू हाइड्रोजन्स. हाफ इंटू टू कितना हो गया? 1 हो गया. मेक सेंस? यस और नो? प्लीज कीप योर माइक ऑन यार.
Yes, sir.
3/2 H2. हाउ मेनी हाइड्रोजन एटम्स हियर?
3.
3. ठीक है. अच्छा, if I have half O2, how many oxygen atom?
1.
1.
1.
How many oxygen atom here?
1.
Here?
2.
3. Now can you see the mistake in the water reaction?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Please keep it. So I'm not erasing those. Let me see the answers. अभी तक तो सही है. अलीना, अलीना यार, अलीना इन द रिएक्शन ऑफ वाटर. अलीना कैन यू प्लीज योर माइक, जल्दी माइक ऑन करो. ये बैलेंस कर रहा है यार तुम लोग को है. हाउ मेनी हाइड्रोजन
Yes.
एटम्स इन द प्रोडक्ट, सॉरी, हाउ मेनी हाइड्रोजन एटम्स इन द रिएक्टेंट अलीना फॉर वाटर मॉलिक्यूल? व्हाट यू हैव रिटन इन द रिएक्शन प्लीज? हाउ मेनी हाइड्रोजन एटम्स इन द रिएक्टेंट? हाउ मेनी
Uh,
हाइड्रोजन एटम्स? व्हाट? हाउ मेनी हाइड्रोजन एटम्स इन द रिएक्टेंट अलीना?
1.
1 दिख रहा है आपको. 2H2 लिखे हैं, 4 हाइड्रोजन एटम है, 1 दिख रहा है आपको. अरे यार अजब हाल है बिल्कुल आप लोगों का. यू हैव रिटन
Sir,
2H2.
by, sir, by accident.
व्हाट बाय एक्सीडेंट? अरे भाई एक्सीडेंट जब हुआ है तो पहले आप ये ना कहिएगा सॉरी सर देयर इज अ मिस्टेक इन माय राइटिंग, आई हैव टाइप्ड इट इनकरेक्टली. आप सीधा बोल रहे हैं 1 हाइड्रोजन है भाई. जब दिख रहा है हाइड्रोजन तो फिर आप क्यों बोल रहे? तो पहले तो आप ये बोलिए ना सर सॉरी सर मिस्टेक हो गया लिखने में, तो फिर हम
Sir,
ठीक है ठीक करके लिखो. व्हाट इज द रिएक्शन, टेल मी व्हाट डिड यू वांट टू राइट? बोलो.
1/2 H2 plus 1/2 O.
अरे नहीं, फिर भी गलत है भाई, तुम लोग को नहीं करने आ रहा है यार, बैलेंस करने नहीं आ रहा है. हियर हाउ मेनी हाइड्रोजन एटम्स? अरे हाउ मेनी हाइड्रोजन एटम्स वाटर में? जोर से. माइक एक तो ऑफ करने के पीछे पड़े रहते हैं, माइक ऑफ रहता है.
2.
जब तक बात खत्म नहीं है माइक ऑन रहना चाहिए ना. माइक बंद हो गया नहीं पढ़ाएंगे हम. हट, दिमाग खराब करके रखते हैं यार आप लोग. नहीं, माइक बंद करो, माइक बंद करो. पूछ रहा सवाल फिर भी नहीं. माइक ऑफ, माइक ऑफ. 10 बार ये बोलो, जोर से बोलो, 10 बार बोलो कि माइक ऑन करो, तो नहीं चुपचाप अब आप. 6 कार्बन प्लस 3H2 gives C6H6. Right, next, enthalpy of formation. Enthalpy of formation of elements, their most stable state is 0. What does it mean? It means that the enthalpy of formation of oxygen atom, sorry, oxygen molecule will be 0. Oxygen as an element, and what is the elemental state of oxygen? O2. Oxygen atom, it is present in the form of O2. ठीक है. उसी तरह से मान लीजिए आप N2 है, इसके लिए भी क्या हो जाएगा? 0. ठीक है. Enthalpy of formation of N2 is 0. O2 is equal to 0. Carbon, it is present as graphite, so graphite में 0. ठीक है. Then we have what, sulfur in the form of S8, it is 0. ठीक है. Similarly, if you have sodium atom, sodium के लिए क्या हो जाएगा? It is present as metal like this. Similarly, chlorine 2 के लिए भी क्या हो जाएगा? It will be 0. ठीक है. So in all the elements in their most stable state, the enthalpy of their formation, it is equal to 0. Copy this down, raise your hand once you are done. Waiting for Ali and waiting for Ali. Because sulfur it is present in the form of SA. जैसे ozone sorry oxygen atom it is present in as O2 ना in our earth in our universe oxygen जो present होगा O2 में होगा ना. Similarly sulfur it is present as S8. If you want to see the elemental state of sulfur you will not get as S, you will get it as S8. This is the formula for sulfur. For example, if you want to take P4 phosphorus, so phosphorus is present in the elemental state as P4. तो P4 का भी enthalpy of formation will be 0. जिस तरह से उसी तरह से आपके पास क्या S8 भी है. Rightness relationship between enthalpy of formation and enthalpy of reaction. So basically, if I have a reaction in which reactant it is getting converted to product, then we can think this particular reaction as the destruction of reactant. So the reactant is getting destroyed and it is getting formed. Now destruction is the opposite of formation. ठीक है, and ये तो form हो ही रहा है. This is to getting form only, right? So opposite of formation, that means if this particular formation of product it is representing delta H naught F of product, then opposite of formation के लिए क्या लिख सकते हैं minus delta H naught F of reactant. So there are two things happening. The reactant is getting destroyed, so that can be mathematically expressed as minus delta HF naught of reactant, and for product we can have delta HF naught, that is in positive. So enthalpy of any reaction can be given as two things: the enthalpy of formation of product, delta H naught F of the product, minus the delta H naught F of all the reactants. ध्यान से देखिए जरा, I can write it like this: summation of delta H naught F of the product minus the summation of delta H naught F of the reactant. Copy this down, then we will do a question. This is enthalpy of any reaction, enthalpy of a particular reaction.
So what is written after form in the product side?
Yeah, sorry, I can't hear you.
So what is written below formed in the product side?
It is just form. Okay, form means it is just formation, and that will be delta H naught F of the product. And once you're done, just waiting for Zainab. Zara, please write quickly. Write the question: the combustion of one mole of benzene gives carbon dioxide and water with 3,267 kilojoule of heat at 298 Kelvin and 1 bar. Calculate the delta H naught F enthalpy of formation of benzene if enthalpy of formation of CO2 is given as minus 393.5 kilojoule per mole. Enthalpy of formation of water is given as minus 286 kilojoule per mole. ध्यान सुनिएगा जरूर in the it is given as, please don't write now, try to listen. If you don't understand, please ask me. In the question, it is written the combustion of 1 mole of benzene. So I will write a reaction in which only 1 mole of benzene is getting reacted, that is getting combusted. So one benzene, the formula for benzene is C6H6. Hopefully you have learned this in your 10th standard, at least the structure and formula of benzene, C6H6 plus O2 because it is combustion. So where did O2 come from? Because they have said combustion. The combustion reaction happens only with oxygen atoms, right? It gives what? CO2 and H2. It gives CO2 plus H2O. Now, we're going to balance the carbons and the hydrogens. So how many carbons here? We have 6 carbons of 6 carbon. How many hydrogens? 6 hydrogens. So here I will multiply 3. Now how many oxygen atoms are there? 6 to the 12 and 3, that is 15. In order to get 15 oxygen atoms, if you multiply here 15 by 2, you will get 15 oxygen atoms. Now, this is the balanced chemical reaction that we have here. And for this particular reaction, they have given delta H naught R. It is equal to minus 3267 kilojoule heat. Now, why sir minus 3267? Because it is saying gives. That means the system is giving out heat. How much heat? 3267. So this word gives, it is telling you about the negative sign, and the 3267 is already there. Now for this particular reaction, the enthalpy of reaction is given as minus 3.7 kilojoule. Now they are asking to calculate the enthalpy of formation, and they have given certain data. For example, CO2 and H2O. That means, see, for x-axis we can say that this is delta H naught formation we have to calculate. For oxygen, what will be the delta HF naught? Tell me guys. For oxygen, it will be equal to how much for O2? Enthalpy of formation of O2 will be how much? Enthalpy of formation of O2. Enthalpy of formation of CO2. Enthalpy of formation of CO2. यूं ही पूछ रहे हैं हम. minus 393.5 किलोजूल पर मोल. ये भी नहीं दिख रहा है किसी को. For it is minus 286 kilojoule per mole. Enthalpy of oxygen atom, it is going to be 0. We have written here enthalpy of formation of elements in their most stable state is 0. So for O2 will also be equal to 0. So this is equal to 0, and this we are going to take as X. अब यहाँ पे we know that the enthalpy of a particular reaction, it is equal to the enthalpy of the formation of products minus the enthalpy of the formation of all the reactants. तो यहाँ पे देखिए ध्यान से enthalpy of products, that means this and this data will be there as it is minus 393.5. minus 286. Now minus, now we are going to write for the reactant. Reactant में बस आपके पास C6H6 का कितना है X, ठीक है, because enthalpy of the formation of an atom, it is equal to 0, and this complete enthalpy of reaction is given as 3267. This is equal to minus 3267. So we can say that what will be the value of X. X को क्या करिए आप, X को आप इधर ले आइए, है ना, और इसको इधर ले आइए, fine. So X will be equal to, minus X will go that way, it will become, X will be equal to 3267 minus 393.5 minus 286, and you will get the enthalpy of formation of benzene. Seemingly very hard question, but if you know the concepts, if you know a few things, then you can easily do this. Please copy this down, raise your hand once you're done. Waiting for Abir and Shaima. See the next question. What is the answer, guys? Answer कितना आ रहा है? ओह, जल्दी जल्दी में. Wait a second, guys. इसमें तो हमने एक चीज किया ही नहीं. Wait a second. Please cut it right now. ध्यान से देखिए. Let me copy this question. I forgot about one thing. This data is fine. All of this data is fine. It is just that one thing that I missed. Enthalpy of reaction is equal to the sum of enthalpy of all the products, delta H naught F of product minus delta H naught F of the reactant. So in the products, I have to see the 6 CO2. So इसको भी I have to consider 6 CO2, because we are forming, when we are forming one carbon dioxide, one mole of carbon dioxide, by the definition of enthalpy of formation when one mole of substance. So this data tells me about the enthalpy of the formation of one CO2. In this reaction, we are forming 6 CO2. So I will multiply this number by 6. It will be basically minus 6 into minus 393.5 plus, in the product we have water also. How many water? 3. And for each water how much? Minus 286. Then minus, only we have X here. Okay, and the enthalpy of the complete reaction is minus 3267. बस ये 3 यहाँ पे missing था. So X will be equal to 3267 and plus कर लीजिए चलिए आप. There is no minus 393.5 plus 3 into minus 286. ठीक है. So if you calculate this will come out to be 48 kilo. इसको जरा कॉपी कर लीजिए, ऊपर वाले को प्लीज काट दीजिएगा. और इफ यू कैन मल्टीप्लाई 6 and 3 देन बस वही करना है और ज्यादा कुछ नहीं है. चलो, right, next question. Another type of question can be given like this. Calculate enthalpy of formation of ethane from following data. The data is, first reaction they have given, carbon plus O2 gives CO2, and the enthalpy of this reaction, it is equal to minus 393.5 kilojoule per mole. Second, they are saying H2 plus half O2 gives water, and the enthalpy of this reaction, it is equal to minus 286 kilojoule. Third, they are getting C2H6 plus 7 by 2 O2 gives 2 CO2 plus 3 O2, and this enthalpy of this reaction, they have given it to be minus 1560. Okay, please copy this down. Raise your hand once you are done writing the question, then we will discuss the solution. See what they're asking. They're asking the enthalpy of formation of ethane. They're asking the enthalpy of formation of ethane. So for that, write a reaction. What is the enthalpy of formation of ethane? You're going to have C2H6. How moles of C2H6? Ethane is C2H6 by the way, है ना? अगर आपको नहीं पता तो पता होना चाहिए. Ethane means H, two carbon atoms, and it is a alkene, that is a CnH to C2H6. 1 mole of C2H6 will be formed. How it will be formed? When you have 2 moles of carbon solid and you have 3 moles of hydrogen gas. In this is the target reaction that we have to see. This is our target reaction. ये क्या आपके पास? This is our target reaction that we have to make. And इसी का enthalpy of formation they are asking. You don't know the enthalpy of formation of this reaction. Now there are a few reactions that has been given. Now we have to use the reaction 1, 2, 3. If you look at carbon atom, the carbon atom, देखिए एक बार जवाब नहीं आएगा फिर हम आगे नहीं पूछेंगे. The carbon atom, it is present in the first reaction, second reaction, or third reaction.
First
reaction. First reaction.
So write the first reaction. Acha, the carbon atom, it is present in the first reaction in the reactant product.
Reactants.
And in our target,
Reaction.
so write the reaction as it is. If the target and given are in the same side, write it as it is. Target is carbon and the carbon in the given is also in the same side reactant, just write it as it is. So carbon plus O2 gives CO2. है ना? And this particular reaction, it has minus 393.5 kilojoule. H2, it is in which reaction 1, 2, or 3?
Reaction 2.
In same side or opposite side?
In the
Same
reaction.
side.
Same side, na? So in the target, it is in the reactant, or given में भी reactant में ही है. So H2 plus 2 gives H2O. This is having minus 286. ठीक है? What about C2H6? C2H6 is in which reaction? 1, 2, or 3?
3.
3. Same side, opposite
Three.
side.
Opposite side.
So write the given reaction in the opposite way. So you will write 2CO2 plus 3H2O gives C2H6 plus 7 by 2 O2. And this reaction, as you have reversed the reaction, the sign of delta H will also change. This will become 1 plus 1560. Does it make sense till here? Yes or no? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many carbon do I need in the target? How many carbon atoms?
2 carbon atoms.
So multiply the whole equation by carbon at 2, 2, 2, and this particular thing will also be multiplied by 2. This is also a part of the reaction. How many H2 do we need in the target? How many H2 do we need in the target?
6.
3. So multiply whole thing with 3, 3 by 2, and this will be 3, and this will be also multiplied by 3. How many C2H6 do we need?
1.
1. We have
One.
1 C2H6. है ना? हमारे पास. Fine. Can I move on? आगे बढ़े?
1
Yes.
minute.
नहीं नहीं, लिखना नहीं है अभी. समझ में आ गया तो आगे बढ़ते हैं बस. ठीक है, ध्यान सुनिए जरा. Now we will add this. See, whether you do it like this or do it stepwise. अगर इन सबको ऐड भी करेंगे then you will get the target reaction only. वही हम यहाँ पे दिखाना चाह रहे हैं बस. भाई हाँ. See, यहाँ पे देखिए, few things will get cancelled. 2 CO, 2 CO2 cancelled, 3H2O, 3H2O cancelled. Now ध्यान से यहाँ पे देखिए, 3 by 2 means 1.5. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
1.5 plus 2, how much? 1.5 plus 2,
3.5.
3.5, and here also 3.5. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this and this whole thing will get cancelled. The only thing remaining will be what? Wait a second, yeah.
2 plus
Ah,
3H.
just give us a second. 2 carbon plus 3H2 gives C2H6. And that was our target, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So enthalpy of this reaction will be the sum enthalpy of all this reaction. So I can say that delta H naught formation of C2H6 is equal to 2 into minus 393.5 plus 3 into minus 286 plus 1560. Make sense? Yes or no, please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Copy this down, raise your hand if you're done. Raise your hand if you're done. Zainab got the answer. Wait, Zainab, it will be negative होगा ना Zainab?
Yes, sir, I didn't
Negative.
slot.
Okay. हाँ, Shaima, correct. This will come out to be -85. ठीक है, वट एवर बी द यूनिट यहाँ पे किलो जूल पर मोल या किलो का वही यूनिट यहाँ पे भी हो जाएंगे. हाँ, करेक्ट ना Zainab. हो गया सबका ना? लेट मी नो इफ समवन इज राइटिंग. लेट मी नो इफ समवन हैज नॉट फिनिश्ड. राइट नेक्स्ट एंथैल्पीज ऑफ डिफरेंट रिएक्शन. First point. The first one is standard enthalpy of combustion. The definition, see, in each of the definition there will be some restriction that will help you in writing the reaction. ठीक है? Enthalpy of combustion क्या है? Is basically reaction of 1 mole of a substance with O2. For example, enthalpy of combustion. So by the way, enthalpy of combustion is written like this: delta H naught C. Enthalpy of combustion of C4H10. So you will have 1 mole of C4H10. अब ये 1 mole यहाँ पे change नहीं होगा. You have to balance the reaction. So you have to balance the other part. ये 1 mole नहीं 1 mole रहेगा. Plus O2 gives, it will give CO2 plus H2O. इसमें कोई शक नहीं है. How much carbon atom? 4 carbon atom. How much hydrogen atom? 10 है. यहाँ पे 5. It's very easy to balance the oxygen atom. How many oxygen atom here? 2 the 8. How many here? 8 plus 5, 13. 13 है तो 13 by 2 कर दो. This many oxygen atoms. Copy this down. Raise your hand if you're done. Raise your hand if you're done, guys. Abir and Zainab waiting for you. Right next, standard enthalpy of atomization. क्या करना है इसमें, ध्यान सुनिएगा. 1 mole of a substance is converted to individual elements in gaseous state. Individual elements in gaseous state. In gaseous, ठीक है. For example, if you have H2 gas, then this will get converted to 2 hydrogen atoms. ठीक है. No matter what you have, for example, if you have CH4, then enthalpy of atomization, so by the way, it is denoted by delta H naught A. Then it will give you 1 carbon plus 4 hydrogen atoms. If you have sodium solid, then sodium gas, chlorine gas, say 2 chlorine atoms gas. Copy this down, raise your hand once you're done. Waiting for Zainab. थर्ड लिखिएगा, बॉन्ड एंथैल्पी. राइट हियर. बॉन्ड एंथैल्पी, प्लीज राइट साथ में. एनर्जी रिक्वायर्ड to break 1 mole of a particular type of bond. Of a particular type of bond. That is basically the bond enthalpy. Now, bond enthalpy can be calculated for diatomic very directly, but for polyatomics, we need to average it. ठीक है, तो प्लीज ध्यान दीजिएगा. Del bond enthalpy. We are going to take two cases. One is for obviously the diatomic, the other will be for polyatomics. Bond enthalpy for diatomic. The other one is for polyatomic. ध्यान सुनिएगा. For diatomic, bond enthalpy is just the bond dissociation energy. Bond dissociation energy. So for example, if you take hydrogen atom, hydrogen gas, H2 gas, what's going to happen? This is going to give you 2H gas. Now, H2, it had single bond. So what is happening? We are breaking 1 mole of single bond. Similarly, if you have O2, O2 को break करके क्या मिलेगा? You will get 2 O atoms in a gaseous form. Here also we are breaking 1 mole of oxygen atom, 1 mole of oxygen molecule, and in 1 mole of oxygen molecule there will be 1 mole of double bond. So you are breaking one type of bond, that is double bond. How many double bonds? 1 mole of double bond. Similarly, if you have N2, then whatever energy is required to break the nitrogen atom and get converted into 2N in gaseous state, this same energy is what the bond enthalpy or the bond dissociation energy for diatomic. Lekin in polyatomic, what do we take? We take the average bond dissociation energy, average bond dissociation energy. So, for example, if I have CH4, then the carbon is having 4 hydrogen atoms. Hydrogen, 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 hydrogen. Now, when you break one of the hydrogen atoms, you will get CH3 and hydrogen. Let us suppose this particular reaction, it took delta H1. Similarly, CH3 से फिर you will break one more hydrogen atom. This will give you CH2 plus H. This will be what delta H2. Then उसके बाद CH2. Then you will get CH plus H. This will be delta H3. Now this H is enthalpy, not hydrogen. Then you have CH remain. एक last आपने break किया, that is, then you will get CH and 1H. So this is delta H4. Now all of these are breaking one type of bond, that is the H bond. So which should we take as the bond enthalpy or the bond dissociation enthalpy? So we take the average. So the enthalpy of the breaking of CH bond, it is shown like this, will be equal to delta H1 plus delta H2 plus delta H3 plus delta H4 divided by 4. So this is how we calculate the bond dissociation energy for polyatomics. Please copy this down, raise your hand once you are done. Waiting for Abir and Shaima. So that's it for today. There is an assessment. Please do it. And other than Ali, all of you guys can leave. Ali, please stay in the class. Thank you guys. Bye bye. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Ali, just please. Ali, can you please turn your mic on?
Yes, sir.
So we have to discuss the paper today, na? I hope you know this, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So some basic concepts we have to discuss, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
दो तीन हफ्ते से बराबर बात नहीं हो रही उससे, तो क्या चल रहा है क्या है मालूम, दोनों पे बात बराबर नहीं हो रही। अब वो आज विशेष करके मेरे को फोन कर रहा था, फोन कर गया, फिर तो फोन उठा ही नहीं। थोड़ा अगर टाइम है तो जाके देखो उसका क्या कंपेयर करो, उसको बोलो।
Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
समझ रहे?
So you have done a mistake in the fourth question. Number of atom present in 16 gram of oxygen. कैसे गलती करती है भाई?
Sir, 6.02. Sir, 16 grams of oxygen है ना सर?
इसमें आपने क्या लिखा है?
दोबारा इंस्टॉल करके फोन करके देखो उसको चार्ज लगाने लगा।
This will be what? 16 gram of oxygen. Oxygen क्या होगा? It will be O या O2.
O2.
ठीक है, तो हाफ मोल हो गया ना. नंबर ऑफ एटम्स वैसे नहीं, नंबर ऑफ एटम तो ठीक है. स्कैनिंग में दिक्कत हुई है क्या? क्या हुआ है यार, इसमें क्यों किया इन्होंने? You have written here what? 4. This is 4.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है।
ये तो 4 है, तब तो सही होना चाहिए था.
था।
ठीक है, एक इसको देख लेंगे हम. Then
मैसेज करो बोलो रूम शिफ्ट हुआ है हुआ क्या है। अगर टाइम मिला तो तुम्हारा जरा जाके उसको बोलो बॉटिंग निकाल के डालो बोलो नहीं तो फोन जो है ना
आपने चेक किया अपना पेपर? अभी नहीं चेक किया. 9 नंबर.
नहीं
आ
सर,
गया तो ठीक है क्योंकि वैसे कुछ का दो तरह का टिकट है यहाँ पे आने
सर ये समझ में नहीं आया सर
Ultimately,
क्वेश्चन.
अब आ गए या निकाले सकते हो
फिर क्यों कर दिया आपने इसको?
उससे ज्यादा ना करो
ये
फोन
समझ में नहीं आया था.
करके
ठीक है, देखते हैं.
नहीं आप जरा बात करके उनको मैसेज करो थोड़ा व्हाट्सएप पे तो
Here we have barium oxide and calcium oxide. Barium oxide and we have calcium oxide, है ना? So
Yes,
tell
sir.
me, how will barium oxide react with HCl?
BaCl,
BaCl2 plus water.
BaCl2 plus H2O. Yes.
Yeah? Calcium oxide plus HCl. Calcium chloride plus water.
Yes,
Make
sir.
sense? Yes or no? ठीक है,
Yes.
ध्यान दीजिए जरा. So they are saying 10 gram mixture of BaO and CO. इन दोनों का मिक्सचर कितना ग्राम है? 10
10 gram.
grams. Right? Requires इतना molar HCl to react completely. That means इतना molar 100 means 100 ml into 2.5. That will give you what? 25 and what? 250 millimolar milli of HCl. एक बार देख लीजिए जरा. मेक सेंस?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. अब ये कह रहा है completely the percentage of calcium is approximately how much? Molar mass of barium oxide is given as 150. Number of moles calculate करके फिर आ जाएगा ना. ठीक है. Let us suppose बेरियम है, कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड को मान लेते हैं x है, and this is 10 minus x ग्राम. क्या ख्याल है? Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Fine. ठीक है, ध्यान सुनिए अब जरा. So we can calculate the number of moles of barium oxide. I'm writing barium, let's say barium oxide. It is equal to 10 minus x divided by 153. Right? And number of moles
Yes.
of calcium oxide, it will be given as x upon. What is the molar mass of calcium? Number of moles of calcium, molar mass of calcium, 40 na?
Yes, 40.
40 plus oxygen is 16. 40 plus 16 will be 56. यहाँ तक does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Now if I add both of these, please see here. If I have 1 mole of barium oxide and 1 mole of calcium oxide, if I have 2 moles, then I will require 2 mole of HCl also, right? एक
Yes,
सेकंड
sir.
में एक सेकंड नहीं बैलेंस नहीं है. केमिकल रिएक्शन है. BaCl2 यहाँ पे 2 होगा और यहाँ पे 2 होगा. तो फॉर ईच बेरियम एंड कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड आई रिक्वायर 2 HCl. आई रिक्वायर 2 HCl. सही है ना?
Yes, sir.
आप सही है. ठीक है. HCl में वाटर, हाँ हाँ ठीक है. अब ठीक है. तो whether it is barium oxide or calcium oxide, we are going to require what? We are going to require 2 HCl, है ना? Number of moles जितना भी हो जाए. So we can say the total number of moles that we have is minus x divided by 153 plus x upon 56. Can calculate this one? 560 minus 56x plus 153 x divided by 153 into 56. 856 ये लंबा चला जाएगा क्या? This many moles we have for and how many this many millimoles of HCl is required. So ये double required हुआ होगा तो 100 ये आएगा इतना 560 minus 97x upon 856 will be equal to 250 divided by 2 because we need if I have 2 moles of HCl I have 1 mole of barium oxide or if I have 2 moles of HCl I need only 1 mole of calcium oxide है ना. So what we can say from here is that we can calculate the x here. ये कितना हो जाएगा 2 into 560 minus 97x is equal to so you can get the value 856 into 250 divided by 2 approximate answer लेकिन हमको निकालना ठीक है 15 सेकंड क्लियर करो this much the answer for this would be so 55.1 आपने किया ना. You can see the answer it is coming as 52.6 ठीक है. This will be the calculation is lengthy. I can understand that. और कहाँ गलती हुआ है आपका 13 नंबर 13 नंबर में गलती है. इतना ऑप्शन था फिर आपने ये सारा क्यों चूज किया कैलकुलेटिव वाला पार्ट सर? हम्म 13 तो लगता अभी सही होना चाहिए था. What else you have done 21 it's ये आपको नहीं पता क्या साइंटिफिक नोटेशन? हाँ अली
Yes, sir.
डू यू नो साइंटिफिक नोटेशन
Yes, sir. I know.
कैसे होता है बताइए जरा.
सर अगर 10⁻⁻4 है तो सर 4 डॉट 4
नो
digits
नो
to the right.
नो साइंटिफिक नोटेशन you have to represent this as in scientific notation. This will be 4.8 into 10 to the power minus 3. एक सेकंड 4.8 into 10 to the power minus 3. ठीक है 1 decimal 2 decimal and 3 decimal. ये भी आपको गलत होना चाहिए. I don't know why they have selected it. ठीक है similarly this one will be 6.